former Diddy employee who'd spent years in his inner circle. She claims that he kidnapped her and threatened to kill her.
For 30 years, Sean Diddy Combs turned hit singles into an empire of billions, but inside, every hit was a secret none of us were supposed to hear. Now the mogul who crowned himself king of bad boy is fighting for his freedom in a Manhattan courtroom, accused of running a sex-trafficking ring, a shell game of shell companies, and a black file archive so damning the feds needed a dedicated evidence lab just to catalog it. If the jury convicts on the heaviest counts, racketeering, trafficking, and conspiracy, Combs could trade private jets for prison jumpsuits until the day he dies. But here's the twist. Investigators say the drives they seized don't just threaten Diddy's legacy. They threaten Hollywood's, because buried on those terabytes are faces even more powerful than Combs. Faces desperate for daylight never to hit play. So tonight we're prying the lid off that vault, section by section, following the evidence, the whispers, and the people brave enough to tear the gag off their own mouths. Stay through the end. You'll want to know which megastar insiders swear is next in line to testify. The fall began, not with a bang, but with one bold enough. In November 2023, Cassie Ventura, once the 19-year-old singer launched by Diddy's label, and later his off-and-on partner, filed a civil suit so graphic journalists had to blur half the language on live TV. She described freak-off parties, forced pills, and years of ownership masquerading as love. 24 hours later, the mogul wired a reported $20 million settlement and posted an Instagram caption about moving on in peace, except peace never showed. Cassie's filing cracked open a dam of sealed NDAs, ex-staffers, and shadow contracts, each one another drip in the flood that finally swept the case into federal hands. By March 2024, Homeland Security agents kicked in the gates of Diddy's Miami and Los Angeles mansions. They hauled out guns, bricks of cash, prescription bottles with other people's names, and drives labeled only with dates. One agent later told the court those drives held thousands of hours of networking nights, lavish gatherings with no phone rules, tinted SUVs, and security teams positioned like chess pieces. For years, the footage was a rumor. Now it was Exhibit A. But when the dust settled, investigators realized the empire ran deeper than one address. Remember Kid Cudi's cherry red Porsche, the one that mysteriously ignited outside his New Jersey home in 2012? In court last week, Cudi swore under oath that a bad boy affiliate warned him things can get hot after he refused to sign. Hours later, the car was a fireball. Police found fragments of a Molotov cocktail in the wreckage. The prosecution showed jurors scorch-marked photos and pointed to text messages from a Diddy lieutenant reading, "Tell your boy we're not all talk." Defense lawyers dismissed it as coincidence. The jury didn't blink. Witness after witness painted the same pattern. An invitation to a private mixer, a confiscated phone, discreet cameras behind mirrored glass, then a next morning contract shaped like a threat in legalese. Refuse, and suddenly club bookings dry up, streaming playlists vanish, or in Cudi's case, cars combust. So who built a machine that could punish a platinum star for saying no? Time to meet the gatekeepers nobody elected. Ice Cube has been warning about this circle for years. In a fiery 2024 radio interview, the West Coast legend slammed what he calls the club of gatekeepers, a handful of executives, media darlings, and legacy producers who pull strings behind the red carpet. Cube's quote went viral. "They don't bring you in because they like you. They bring you in to control you." The mainstream shrugged it off until Cube walked into federal court on day 9 of the Diddy trial, carrying a bulging folder and a stare that said, "We're done pretending." He told jurors the club's carrot is glory, its stick is erasure, and, Cube claimed, standing at the very center of that velvet rope syndicate is legendary producer Quincy Jones, music's godfather of hits and, allegedly, secrets, which drags us to a night Jamie Foxx still can't forget and may never fully explain. Spring 2005, Hollywood Hills. Jamie Foxx is fresh off an Oscar for Ray when his phone lights up. It's Oprah Winfrey. According to Fox, she tells him bluntly, "You're blowing it. Get to Quincy's tonight." The visit looked like mentorship, but Fox later hinted it felt more like processing, polite talk masking a silent contract. Ice Cube doubled down in court. He says Fox confessed years later that Quincy's gathering wasn't a pep talk, but an orientation. "They size you up," Cube quoted Fox. "They see how far you'll bend." Fast forward to April 2023. Fox collapses on a movie set in Atlanta, officially medical complications, later revealed as a stroke caused by a brain brain bleed. Internet sleuths spun clone theories, coma conspiracies, CIA detox, anything to fill the silence. Cube's version? It was a warning. He laid the timeline bare. January 2023. Foxx privately distances himself from Diddy's circle. February 2023. Two major studios yank Foxx-led projects without explanation. April 2023. The Stroke. Summer 2023. Gossip blogs pump stories of Foxx acting paranoid and unstable. Cube called it death by 1,000 whispers. Not a bullet, not a lawsuit, just a slow erasure until even fans doubt what's real. And erasure is easy when you own the footage that can ruin a career in one click. Federal testimony paints Combs as archivist of an extortion machine. Agents say staff sorted footage into color-coded tiers: green, gossip-worthy embarrassments; leverage light amber, career-ending stunts; pills, OD'd guests, secret affairs; red, life-destroying acts no publicist could spin. One drive, reportedly titled "2-pack tape, do not copy," sent a chill through the gallery when its tag appeared on an evidence list. Prosecutors haven't previewed its contents yet, but the implication alone suggests the vault spans decades. Witnesses say these files weren't accidents. Staffers discreetly filmed from ceiling vents, outdoor sconces, even inside limo headrests. According to one former bodyguard, the camera was the real guest of honor. Those who played along reaped platinum plaques, film rolls, brand deals. Those who balked saw bookings evaporate, or worse, watched their reputation burn on gossip sites seeded by anonymous industry sources. And that brings us back to the courtroom crossroads where silence finally snapped. The press gallery was half asleep when a side door popped and Ice Cube strode in. Gray suit, no entourage, eyes locked forward. He wasn't on any witness list. He simply told the bailiff, "I'm here because I'm tired of being quiet." Every lens in the room pivoted. Cube spoke for 53 minutes. No rap cadence, no movie star charm, just the low, steady tone of a man unpacking a secret he'd carried too long. He laid out the one and only party he attended in the early 2000s. No music, no laughter, phones seized at the door, and A-listers wandering glassy-eyed while cameras blinked in every corner. The next morning phone call, "We saw you leave." No threat, just confirmation that they were watching. The roster of rising artists who disappeared after refusing bad boy contracts. Names redacted in open court but already trending on Twitter. And Jamie Foxx's plea, "Cube, I can't unsee what I saw." Cube ended with the line that detonated whatever composure Diddy still had. "You didn't just ruin lives, you filmed them first." Defense counsel opened his mouth, closed it, and sat down. The judge asked if Cube needed a break. Cube shook his head. The silence swallowed the room. Yet even a viral testimony can't dismantle a syndicate overnight. Think about it. Hollywood sells dreams, but Ice Cube says the fine print demands a piece of your soul. You want chart-topping exposure? Sign here, and smile for the after-party lens. Turn a blind eye. Take the brand deal. Collect the check, refuse, and the machine rescripts your narrative. Suddenly you're erratic, washed, hard to work with. Calls stop, credits vanish. And because the audience only sees the final cut, they assume you fumbled, not the machine. That's the brilliance and the horror of soft control. It leaves no fingerprints. It trades pistols for playlists, knives for algorithms. Erasure becomes the invisible prison. The door's unlocked, but the hallway leads nowhere. So what happens if the jury turns the key the other way? If convicted of the top charges, Diddy could face life behind bars and forfeit assets feeding a dozen label subsidiaries. If acquitted, or if a hung jury lets him slip on lesser counts, insiders say he's already mapped a reboot from the Bahamas or Dubai, where extradition gets complicated and cloud servers stay offshore. Either way, the real fuse is the evidence. Those drives are public record once the trial ends. Every artist caught on film has a choice: preempt the leak and confess, or pray the red files never surface. And that brings us to the name nobody can keep out of the whispers. Multiple insiders tell Rolling Stone the next subpoena targets a pop superstar with 4 diamond singles and a squeaky clean image. Prosecutors aren't naming names yet, but fans have guesses, and you probably do too. Which leaves one final question. Cassie risked everything to speak. Kid Cudi watched flames dance on metal. Ice Cube ripped a 30-year scar wide open so the jury and the world could breathe the stench for themselves. Now the silence is broken, but the system isn't down, just exposed, gasping, and bleeding secrets faster than its handlers can plug the leaks. So ask yourself before you stream the next hit single or binge the next feel-good biopic, who paid the ticket and what did it cost them behind the velvet door? Drop your prediction in the comments. Whose testimony flips the industry next? Is it the pop darling with the halo-clean Instagram, the comedy icon who went silent for a year, or the talk show titan who knows too much to retire? Because the storm isn't coming. It's here. Camera ready, red files unlocked, and every beat of silence is another note in a song someone else tried to write for you.